Okay, so first off, I discovered that the bird nest in the front, or outside the front window, has a cardinal. So, feel like I want to be a little more cautious on not scaring the shit out of the bird since it's there and it's cardinal, because I like those birds. And yeah, finished up over at the family friend's house today, at least with the first part of the yard work tasks. They have decided they also want to put mulch down, so we'll be helping them with that probably sometime this week, so that'll be exciting. Then I was thinking yesterday I got kind of overly hung up on the video thing, and I did like a half-hour one, and then I just kind of like lost momentum, and then it was like, and I closed it off. I deleted that one, but then I ended up feeling like I wanted to try again later. Ended up going a little over an hour, and it was fine. But when I was writing later, dude, Taz is up here farting at me now. Thanks. What was I saying? Oh, when I was journaling later, yeah, I pulled some cards before then too, and I just got this really strong sense that it's time to really focus on the writing for a little bit. Like, I pulled these cards from this Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, and like the first one was Bring It Into Form. The second was She Feels, She Knows, and I don't remember what the last one was called, but it's something about the perfection of all. I might have to figure out what that one is and refer back to it. But like the first one talks a lot about really putting forth the effort to do the thing, right? The thing that you know you're supposed to be doing. It's now time to do the thing. And, you know, it just seemed like that was the big theme for the cards that I was looking at. It was one of those times where, like, that wasn't the deck that I used for the daily tarot thing, the daily oracle thing. I have a Ritual Planner thing that is awesome, and I usually use oracle decks instead of... Now he responds. Instead of tarot cards. So it's mixing the songs up again. He's got like Pink Panther, and another one, Bites the Dust. And every now and then he kind of adds a little bit other stuff in there. Anyway, the big thing, like with the cards, and then just like the feelings that I've had recently anyway, is I feel like it's time to really spend more time focusing on the writing part of this journey. There's been a lot of messages too about you already have everything you need to get to the next thing. You just need to stop standing in your way. Is a big part of it. But, you know, especially if it's the writing, because I already have the story. You know, it's basically like everything that I've talked about on here over time. But more coherently and ordered in some kind of way that makes sense. But yeah, it's like the YouTube thing has been for the sake of processing through the things that I needed to heal from, right? And so I spent a lot of time doing videos as I was working on the healing process itself, and actually maneuvering through different, you know, like family drama, whole lot of family drama, and making connections that I maybe hadn't made before. But yeah, I've just been really sitting with the idea that I think it is time to focus on that more intentionally. And, you know, especially because after I do a video, it's an hour to an hour and a half, then I rewatch the video to see if I got to tag anything, and it's like almost every single time I finish out the uploading process before I have watched the entire video. It's like I find I missed tagging somebody that I had intended to or whatever. And so that's kind of, oops. But I just feel like, you know, by the time I've watched my hour and a half video, you know, we're looking at 3 hours, and then, you know, however long I'm fighting with the computer to get it uploaded. And yeah, there's an overlap there, but, you know, it still gets kind of complicated sometimes. So yeah. So I'm going to focus on the writing a little bit more. And I think a big part of this also is going to be stepping away from social media again, as I did before, and really focusing more on the writing, not distracting myself with mindless scrolling, as I find it's really easy to shift into without paying attention. So yeah. Oops. I have a thing that came up. Okay. So I finished up over at the family friend's house today. You know, we were cutting back their ornamental grass and then moving it to this area on the back porch so they can get ready to put it through the wood chipper, and hopefully have some luck there with getting rid of it. And then pulling some, like, the last of the, well, of what I could of the thistles that were in the area. Dude. He's so proud of himself when he farts at me when I'm in the middle of doing something. Hi. Okay. Stop. Dude. So, slimed me. Okay, so yes, this is yesterday's outfit for anybody that's paying attention. And it was one of those things, it's like I didn't do anything really exciting yesterday to get this dirty. And so when I was skating after I finished up over there, went to the bank, and then I went and was skating for a while. And when I was skating, I went 7 miles. And in there, my mom sent me a message because she thought I was home and asked if I would take her to Walmart. And I said I could take her to Walmart, but she'd have to wait until I was done skating my last mile, which was 7, so it wasn't too terrible. And I was already at at 6 before she sent me a message. I don't like my bracelets. But when I got home, I was figuring I would just have long enough to change and then go from there. And she said, oh, well, I'll go ahead and take a shower. And it's like, okay, well, more time than I thought I was going to have, but I decided to just recycle. So I put on yesterday's clothes since I didn't get them all funky, and now my dogs helped me get them all funky just now, so that's great. Standard. Lay on her and she burps. But anyway, when I was out with my mom, first off, Walmart parking lot. So my mom has a broken arm, right? She broke her wrist, has to have surgery on it at some point in the near future. Don't know what that's going to look like just yet. But when I drove down this one aisle by the grocery side, and I was going to see if they had any handicap parking because, you know, my mom's got the license plate and all that. So I was looking for a spot close for her. And they didn't have it right there, and there was a bunch of people walking out of the store at this time. So I went ahead and had my mom get out of the car so she could go ahead and walk in from, that section anyway. And the first car in the parking, like the slot right next to me, like he started coming out, and I like honked the horn, and he kept coming, and I honked the horn, and he kept coming, and then I finally was like laying on the horn. It's like, son of a bitch, pay attention. It's like literally all you have to do is look out the rear, like look in your rear view mirror, and you will see that somebody is behind you and you cannot move. You will hit them. But yeah, he didn't make the connection that anybody was there. He didn't think to look, I guess, until I was like laying on the horn, and then of course all these people are looking, so that's fun. But luckily we did not get hit, although I am really surprised that we did not get hit. We did not get hit. But and then the guy rolls the window down and apologizes to my mom as she was walking in with her cast and all this crap. So yeah. But then when I lapped around the parking lot, and like the first license plate my eyes go to when I'm in the next aisle looking for a slot had 515, which was my great grandmother's number. So it's like that was it got my attention, of course. And then when we were leaving, there was 819 again, and then on the way back, I saw 719 on a mailbox, and of course that one's Tyler. So it's like there's like these are like some of the most common numbers that are non-repeating numbers that I see the most of, and of course my dad's parents sneak in there periodically, but I don't register theirs as much as I do the others, like, in 37, like my great grandfather, but it's like, I'm kind of hit and miss on some of them, but 515, 819, and 719, those ones always get my attention. So it's like, in this little journey of things, then chaos with taking my mom to Walmart, it's like they were all over the place. And of course I'm thinking in this time about the writing thing, and prioritizing that a little bit more. And then the conversation, we talked about the puppy. So I've said I really don't want a puppy. I don't want to have to deal with a puppy while we got all these older dogs. Of course, the youngest of what we have now is Gidget, and she's 8. And Taz is 9, Ziva's 12, and then Pepper is 13. So it's like, you're getting ready to age these dogs, like, even more. Because bringing in a little puppy always makes everybody realize, oh shit, here we go. So it's like, crap. But yeah, like before we left, I noticed there's a dog bed on the counter in the kitchen. And I was like, what's this? And then I was like, puppy. And they're like, yeah, for the puppy. It's like, puppy. And I said, when are you getting the puppy? And they're getting the puppy on Friday. Fuck. So I kind of think that the universe is using that as a prompt to get me moving more on the writing thing too, because I think that's like the thing I know it's going to do really well. I know it's something that I'm meant to do in my lifetime. And I've talked to Annie about it, with the class, and she said she could even help me self-publish with it. It's like, all right, well, maybe this is where we're at right now. And yeah, so I've been working in that direction, or thinking in that direction, I guess. I did start writing last night, and it goes back to the thing that I always, like when I've started writing and try to focus on the writing, always goes back to when I was 4 and sitting in front of the TV at my cousin's house, and we were watching An American Tail, and the song Somewhere Out There came on, and I was just like completely enthralled with the song, and there's like this whole other thing happening at this energetic level that was like, I was captivated in the moment, but didn't really understand what was going on until more recently, navigating the energetic level of things. But that's something that I've noticed every time I start focusing on the book project, it goes right back to that moment, because that's ultimately the best start point, right? So it's something that, came up when I was 4, and it was a very important moment. And, I've talked about how I feel like that was basically there was communication in the energetic space with the twin flame, and before he reincarnated, or before he incarnated in this lifetime. And it goes back to this moment, and where he's like checking in with me to make sure everything's still going according to plan, and yes, I'm still into this idea, and like all these things that that I'm picking up on this space energetically. Yes, we're still good, right? But it all goes back to like that key pivotal moment. So I started writing again last night, and of course it was right there again, but slightly different, because I'm thinking through, other levels of it, other aspects of what was going on beyond what was going on. And, like the YouTube thing has been a big part of me sorting through various layers of stuff, and making connections. So that's a really weird noise. Birds making weird noises. So yeah, that was where I went to again, but of course, as I spend more time with it, like I feel like it's going to be a lot easier this time, and it's really a matter of just me focusing my effort and attention on this project that I know that I'm supposed to be doing, because it is literally something that I already have everything I need to do, or I need within me to be able to do this writing thing. It's just a matter of not being distracted by everything else and focusing on the writing thing. So that's going to be a big part of the next little bit. And there was my 819 again. So yeah, but that's where I'm at. And I feel like this puppy is going to be a big motivating factor in helping me to keep moving on that as well. Even though I'm sure it will also be a distraction. I'm not going to be near as involved with that one as I have been the other ones in the past, because I'm not the one that wants it. And yeah. My mom showed me the picture of it again and was trying to come up with a name. It's like, I mean, you can't really just name it from just a picture, right? Why don't you just wait until the the puppy comes and then figure out its personality too? But yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's interesting because Pepper is her dog. My dad's dog was Holly, and Holly died on January 1st. So my dad was the one that started this whole puppy thing and got it going. And yet, this puppy is looking like it's for my mom. So it's like, not surprising, but yeah. Hi, come here. Come here. Thank you. You know, but like even the times where Daisy's around, it's like these guys are just kind of like, oh, she's coming again. But yeah. But, you know, I've talked about how I signed up to do that. I think it was a 30-day write your book challenge. So it's like, it can be done in a short span of time if you're motivated and get your ass in gear, right? So, you know, even that, like I kept the notes from the writing thing. I didn't end up finishing it back then, but I kept all the emails. So it's like I still have the things that I need to organize it a little more quickly, and then it's a matter of at least dedicating at least an hour every day to it. Yeah, I journaled last night, and then I actually spent some time writing, and it's like it flowed a lot more easily than it has in the past. So it's like I just feel like I'm there, and it's time to focus on this thing and get it done. You know, and that's going to be the thing that basically pushes me into the next part of my life, and doing things differently, having a space of my own, being able to leave this one, all those fun things. And yeah. Gidge's all in the mood to play now. Not right now, dude. Kind of annoyed. When I was over at our family friend's house this week, he wanted me to trim back the rose bushes, and there's one, we got our wires crossed on that. He was just talking about trimming them back. I thought he just wanted me to go ahead and do it, so I went ahead and did it. But it worked out, because then he asked me to do the other one today, so I don't think it hurt his feelings that I handled it. But then he had one that he wanted me to pull up, so I did, and it is over here. He was like, have anywhere you want to put a rose bush? It's like, I'm sure I can find one. And I completely meant to do that while I was still in the outside working clothes and completely spaced it. You know, I was just in go mode on skating and getting that done. And then, you know, then came back and just forgot all about it. So, I mean, technically I could go out there and do that a little bit, but now I'm clean. So now I don't want to do it because of that. And tomorrow it's supposed to be like 79. So probably just get out there sometime tomorrow and do it. And I put it back where it was. I had set it up in the waterfall to keep it hydrated a little bit. But I just pulled it out of there a little bit ago. It's like, shit, I really just need to put it in the ground. But it'll go back here probably. Well, my game plan is between the windows under this little trellisy thing that we have, and I'm gonna have to weed first. Not looking forward to that, but also, you know, still not trying to distract myself away from the writing thing either. I think I'm just gonna have to, I'll figure it out. I'm going to make it work because I'm more motivated than I've ever been to get out of this situation. And I think it's on the other side of the writing thing. So, yeah. And it's going to be a lot of the same stuff that I've talked about through here, which is kind of the interesting point. Because I've mentioned on here a lot that I feel like this is kind of the long game, right? And, you know, it's taken a lot of time to sort through all the things that I've wanted, or I've gotten to clear out of my system on here, and organizing the chaos that is my life. Yes, just randomly look at the wall and think about that. But, you know, I've been saying for a long time, it's like, this is the long game. It's like, this is, you know, laying the foundation, and there's fours, which is all about stability. And seeing how the YouTube thing goes hand in hand with the writing thing, it makes perfect sense to me because, okay, one of the things that I've always kind of wanted to do with my life is basically find a way to demonstrate to others that there is something more beyond this level of awareness, right? And it's much more involved with everything that's going on than any of us will ever have perceived of. Although I feel like a lot more of us are tuning into it here in the recent years. But yeah, I want to point back to this thing that's going on at this other level, and I have lots of things that suggest that, and it goes through what I've been, my lived experiences, my learned experiences from those lived experiences, and the connections that I've been making beyond that, and then of course the thing that's been motivating me to not quit on it in the first place. So yeah, this dog, give me a minute. I don't know why she's just all excited all at once. Roll her ball off. Yeah, but I feel like I have a lot of little pivotal moments that I can refer back to, and I think that's probably part of organizing my timeline, which of course is something I did in that 30-day book writing challenge. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to not just piss around here on this video thing so much. I really just wanted to do one and say that I'll still be around, but not as much as I have been, because I got to focus on this other thing. And of course, in focusing on the other thing, walking away from Instagram again for a little bit will be extremely helpful on that process as well. Facebook too, for that matter. Although I've had this damn shadow box that's been posted for a month, and all at once I have 7 people that are talking to me about it. It's of course, one of the things I do with Facebook Marketplace is to make sure it's an actual human, because at one point I was selling a fish tank, and it was definitely not an actual, well, I mean, it was probably an actual human, but it was totally a scam, because it was. The funny thing was, okay, the guy had a picture of somebody. It made me think Family Day, right? Because it's a private in the Army. Of course, I was in the Army. Not very long, but the little rank, he might have been a PFC. I don't know, but it was not was not a high ranking one, right? And it looked like with a family member and this person sending me this, goes through all this bullshit. He wanted to send me money through Zelle, but yet it had to be this business account way of doing it. It's okay, first off, I'm not extremely familiar with Zelle, but what I do know about Zelle is my sister-in-law has paid me with Zelle a few times for watching their dogs, and it's never been that complicated. And this guy was saying that it had to go through this business thing. He was going to send me $400, but I had to promise to send it back. It's that sounds like you just want access to my bank account. Fishy. But when I was clicking through the the information about it. Like the Zelle thing that they had on the email that I got sent, it was like a gmail.com email address or something. It's like, yeah, this ain't right. And then like the guy that I was talking to was talking about like, I forget what rank he said he was, but it was something much more substantial than a private, even if a private first class. And I was like, yeah, your picture doesn't line up with what you're telling me. And, you know, he was trying to like come at me from all these different angles with wasting his time and blah, blah, blah. It's like, there is no way you're coming from like, I don't even remember where it was. I don't think it was Terre Haute, but somewhere along that line. First off, there's not a whole lot of military bases in Indiana. And just the information that he was coming up with, it's like, this doesn't line up at all. You know, just from my past military experience, I can say that much. And yeah, but he was like wanting to send me money to have me hold the tank until his grandmother could come pick it up. It's like, yeah, your shit's not lining up right at all, dude. And anyway, it ended up being a scam, and I caught on to it and pissed him off because he knew I caught on to it. But it was kind of funny because recently my sister-in-law was trying to sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace as well, and she encountered somebody that was going the same approach and was talking about Zelle business and whatnot. They were over here picking up Gracie, and she was telling my mom and dad what was going on, and I was in my office, and was like, I went in there, and was like, all right, I said, so I hear something that you're saying, and it makes me think of this scam that, you know, I had people try to pull me in on, and I told her what was going on with it, or what had happened in my little situation. It was exactly the kind of stuff she was going through. And of course, the person wasn't trying to claim military as a reason that he couldn't get there to collect the child bike or whatever. But yeah, they did the Zelle business thing, and it's like, as soon as she said Zelle business, I went in there, and it's like, whoa. I said, did you click into the Zelle thing? And she looked at it, and she was like, oh, yep, it's a scam. It's like, yeah. It's like, I kind of got that idea just from that little bit of what I heard you say. It's like, this makes me think of this thing that happened to me once. And then sure enough, which I also had this weird thing. The other day I got an email from the IRS, or a letter from the IRS saying that my social security number might have been used for somebody gaining employment. It's like, interesting. It was like, they know about it enough to send me this thing, but they can't do anything beyond that. And their suggestion for what I could do to protect myself was file my taxes on time. Okay, cool. Cool. Glad that's your suggestion, but whatever. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it's just a random tangent. I just wandered down that path. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up so I can go work on my writing thing and get that habit. Work on reestablishing that habit, I think. After I throw the damn ball for the dog that is staring at me. Just like I let her down. She's in a constant state of, my mother has failed me. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Go ahead and yeah. There's 444 up there again. So fours are the theme this evening. But yeah, I can go wrap this up so I can do my thing for getting this posted, and then continue on with my writing thing as soon as I throw the ball for the dog for a little bit. And then make good on creating new habits for this week, right? Reestablishing new habits for the week. We'll stay with that. As always, I appreciate you, and ooh, hold on. I threatened that the other day, so I'm going to up. As always, I appreciate you, and until the next time, see ya.